evening, everybody. Yeah. No, we don't have a flag.
I do have one.
Yay.
Hello. Good evening, everybody. If you all would just stand, we can start the meeting with the pledge of allegiance to the flag.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, so tonight we're just going to go over the proposed questions for the November ballot. I'm going to start off with reading through each referendum question, and then I'll give a short period of time for some questions from the audience. Referendum 1, shall the town of Lebanon vote to amend the Lebanon Shoreland zoning ordinance to eliminate the discrepancy between the current ordinance text and the map to include all FEMA mapped flood hazard areas in the resource protection zone, and to clarify the method of defining limits of the shoreline zoning districts? Any questions on that? Basically, what it is, from what I understand from planning board, I don't think any plans to do also, but there's been a discrepancy in the past, very simply, I guess, between the actual maps and the text that we ever read, and just want to clarify that. Seeing no comments or questions, we'll move on to referendum.
Brad?
I'm sorry.
There's this is general, but there's a no vote on this one, as well as 8 out of 14. Now, you just read this one, and I looked at some of them that are changed because they're not applicable anymore. Can you tell me why there would be a no vote? In other words, what is the reasoning behind that? And it must be one of the select persons.
They also, yeah, right.
Okay, yep. And I'm just wondering what the rationale is for the no vote, because perhaps I would want to know.
Sure.
Okay.
I voted yes, so that won't be mine, but that's going to be you, Royce.
Yes, I will let it go or no, and just answer anybody that might want to know. Or no right now through the whole thing. I think every once in a while we should always challenge these things. When it comes down to it, it's up to you people what you want to vote on. Whether you vote yes or no.
But to help me make a decision, what was your challenge on these?
Oh, on this one here, it's just another rule. And every time you think a rule, you think, well, you're right. That's something that happens to us. This may be a good rule. You guys tell me.
So, and then is that applicable to all of these now? If there was some of these, there was a rule that was already in effect, but it wasn't, the wording wasn't good and so forth, so they could have been changed. Are
show each amendment. So they show anything that is not crossed through is the original text, and anything that is in red is added. So without being on the planning board, I don't know specifically, but the documentation is, page 4 of this.
I just before I question, what difference would it make? Matter of fact, the fee is crossed out, so I just, again, I don't know why there was a law.
Okay, so we're not, I don't know if that question got answered directly, but we're not on the
I
planning.
wish I could answer it. I don't know what the planning board, I know their attention is on this paper, but I don't know what their
A
instructions
little more clarity into that. I know that just basically there's been some issues in the wetlands where the wording, the text, footages or something like that doesn't match the actual FEMA maps. Where FEMA will identify wetlands where our current ordinance is saying, oh no, that's dry, or something like that. It's along that line. I apologize, I don't know and understand a little bit better. But this is just basically, it's not creating a new rule, it's correcting and clarifying. We have two elements that don't match. We have federal FEMA maps, that will show you wetlands, stating one thing, and then what the town has adopted as an ordinance doesn't match those maps. When it comes down to it, so far I don't believe it's actually been challenged in court. I think it's been threatened to be there, but the maps will always prevail. But we don't want to necessarily go to court to cost money, so we want to clarify some of these things. Does that answer your question somewhat? I'm not an expert on that, but my fault. Any other quick questions on referendum 1? Okay, not seeing anything else. Go to referendum 2. Shall the town of Lebanon vote to amend the building code ordinance, section 3, which currently specifies fees to read, this application will be accompanied by a fee as outlined in the schedule of license, permit, and application fees established annually by the Board of Selectmen, which shall not exceed the town's reasonable cost of administering and enforcing this ordinance. Question? Yes.
What did it say?
You have that in your packet.
Oh, okay.
So 2 through 8, basically.
The onus on the license fee.
Basically, the questions 2 through 8 are taking the fee, which is in the ordinance right now, out of the ordinance, and making a fee schedule which will be established annually by the select board. Currently, it's a great example, codes does not support itself to come close to it. A lot of people might think that it does, with building permits and various permit fees. Not even close. Some of these ordinances go back to the 80s, so we're not even close to what it's costing. So that's one thing. Most of the surrounding towns, if not all, Andy's done more research there, have changed to a fee schedule that allows the town to look at these things annually, just like a budget, and be able to say, hey, we need to change this fee. It takes the burden off the taxpayer to have these fees where they should be. It puts the payment, I want to say subsidizing basically his position by people that are using it. And do you have something else you want to add?
No.
Jane, yes.
How will the selectmen gonna go about figuring out what the fees are gonna be?
Two things I would do, especially the first time around. The first time around is going to be probably the most digging into it. You need to look at various towns around us, see how they're set up, but also looking at what's the cost. I don't think that the fees are ever going to completely sustain code enforcement. I don't think so in this day and age. Back years ago, but if we can subsidize that, what we're paying him as a salary or whatever, 50% or something like that. I don't know what that's going to be yet. We haven't dug into what the actual fees would be. But most of your surrounding towns have this set up, and be charging $100 for a building permit here in Lebanon when somebody else is charging, 40. So we're gonna look at surrounding towns, similar size, similar structure, and stuff like that, and then also look at the cost of this to actually, run that department, run whatever.
And how are the townspeople from term to term gonna know how this is established? Is it gonna be a guideline?
If you post a guideline, yeah.
So that the people in town don't have to go, well, okay, 3 years ago, we had this set of selectmen, it's now 6 years down the road, we've got new selectmen in, and they're changing policies with no guidelines at all, so.
If done properly through your select board system, you should only be changing out one, every year, so you should have two in there that know what's going on from, the previous term. Obviously, if something resigned, or something like that, and other issues we've had in the past year, we're changing just recently a little bit more often, but it should continue where you've got two, someone new comes in. Next year, maybe you've got the same person, maybe you've got a new person, but you still have two from the previous board. So you should still be able to continue chugging along. There shouldn't be any big issue where all of a sudden, well, we're gonna change the fees, we're gonna double, unless it, warranted or something, but it shouldn't. We've done our job. The boards have done their job, they've kept up with it, it shouldn't come to that point.
I spoke with Maine Municipal Association also to make sure, that we weren't on one high spectrum, 1 year and then way over here another year. So what they suggested that I put, is that it must not exceed the town's reasonable cost of administering and enforcing this ordinance. That is put so that there is some standard that the townspeople can hold their selection to that says, hey, this is way out of line, and it says in this ordinance that you can't do that. So that's the purpose of this, and that's, I spoke with the Municipal Association, they said that that's the best way to handle it, to make sure that your fees stay reasonable. I mean, the point of this is not to even increase your fees, it's just to better organize the town, it's just to remove them all, put them in one place, have that posted so that businesses, residents, whomever needs to access it can find it so that everyone's paying the same price. That it's all right there. Transparency is the point of this, not really to increase them. And yes, so that every year they can look at them and make sure that there is fairness to the taxpayer, that you're not paying the brunt of the services that other people are using. Does that help?
Right now, we're doing it by the square footage, right?
I'm sorry?
That's correct.
Okay.
So why change that? So if somebody's building a house, you're going by the square footage, the next guy's building a house, you're going by the square footage. I know I got a building permit.
I don't think they meant the method, I think it was just the fee itself.
Correct.
Okay, so we're doing with the square footage, so why do we want to change it and just put it on to the selectmen, who always say they already have a full plate? Why not just leave it to the code enforcement to do his job, because we're doing it by the square footage? Why do we want to change that?
You can still be doing it by square footage,
That's not
but
changing.
code enforcement is not setting the fee is in the ordinance. So that fee won't change for 100 years if we don't, which means that charge is gonna eventually be passed on somehow to the taxpayer. So we're not proposing to change the way that it's calculated, only that we can revisit them if need be.
Well, here's my thing, is, you're talking about getting a building permit, we're gonna be paying for the code enforcement, right?
Right.
Okay, so say there's a condemned building in town, and the code enforcement's called in, how am I, that's getting a building permit, paying for that condemned building that he's gonna look at?
You're not.
Either way, you're not gonna be collecting enough money to pay for him.
Well, the revenue that comes in, obviously, it doesn't go back into his budget. Anything right now doesn't go back into anybody's budget. It hits the town on miscellaneous revenues, which
Right.
helps to alleviate taxes and, when we actually set the tax.
But I'm just saying, if your point is to try to keep the guy that's building the house to pay for him,
Well, no, but I'll be honest, it was your comment last year during the budget committee that you said the code enforcement fees are not paying for your code enforcement officer. It's not true. It hasn't been happening for a long time.
how much revenue did you bring in last year?
I'd have to look it up. I don't know.
You mean just the code enforcement?
Yeah.
So, last month, it was about $4,500. This month, because one of the large commercial ones, I believe we're closer to $5,000 this month.
So that's 9,000 in 2 months, and you make how much
believe my salary is $29,000 a year.
And you just made $9,000 in 2 months.
Yeah.
But you've been busy too.
Yeah. We're fortunate to be at a time right now that there's a big boom going on. It doesn't appear to be slowing down either.
The difference is not so much what the fee is, I think that's where your argument is right now. Again, that's the method of how you establish that fee, is what this question is about.
I'm just saying that we already have a method, there's only about a square footage, so why do we want to change that?
We're not changing the method, we're changing the fee itself, not the method.
We're not changing anything, we're proposing to put it transparency. We want to take them out of the ordinances so that when they are not sustainable, we can move forward. We're not even proposing to pay for his whole salary with these fees. We're proposing that if someone's building a house, they should pay for the cost of building a house. Not everybody else. So when you get a building permit, you're only paying for you doing your building, for his services servicing you. You're not paying for the condemned building down the road. And that's what this is to ensure.
You just told us that all that money is going back into the fund anyway, so how do we know how much it's gonna cover this cost?
Okay, so I guess you're losing in that fact that it doesn't go back to his budget,
You
it goes
just-
back into the town,
Right.
this money's revenue.
Right,
Which
and
also
what
should
he's
have-
saying, we're gonna cover his, how much does he make an hour? Per hour,
The town pays me $20.50 an hour.
$20.50 an hour?
Yeah.
Okay. So you just told him you made $9,000, and then you
I
just
took
said that the money goes
$9,000.
into the town fund, so
Right.
are you separating it? Is what we do, we're not doing it anyway.
But let's go into your general fund, correct?
Okay, but the other part of that is too, though, the point is that they'll be able to be looked at every year on a yearly basis. Right now, this is locked into this ordinance. Your stuff, it has to go every time before the voters, you need to adjust this. So that's the main point of that as well. Sure.
It's a bigger question, because this is what you're really trying to do, is you're really trying to allow the selectmen to be charged to change the fees as they see fit. So this town currently does not have a conflict of interest policy. This town does not have an ethics policy. So why do I want to give, and I'm not saying the current board, but this is down the road, why do I want to give that power to change fees annually? You talked about transparency. How is that going to be notified?
Every year when they do the budget,
It's not, it's when they do the budget, but people don't know that. They know if to go to vote, so I can see, do a fee schedule. This is a fee schedule that's voted on. If you guys want to change one fee in the fee schedule, you put it up for vote. If it's the same, it never goes to vote. You don't do it by ordinance, but you do an annual fee schedule. And if you want to change the code enforcement fee because you reviewed it and it's too low, you change it, and then you put that entire fee schedule, referendum XYZ, whatever number it is, for the people to vote on. Then the people can see all the fees and what you're changing. But doing it this way isn't transparent, because you guys could go into executive session and change the fee. And nobody really knows, but I'm used to executive, but I'm saying you can change the fee at your will. There's no, and I don't know down the road, what if there's a building guy, he doesn't want to pay this or that, that's on the board. He does building, so that would affect him, so he wants to reduce the fees. There's no continuity, and so there's no oversight of those fees. So I don't blame you for wanting to have to do all the different ordinances. So I agree with the idea of a fee schedule that lists all the individual fees. But what I'm saying is that if you want to make changes to those fees, make it a fee schedule, put it as a referendum item, and then if you want to change one, everybody votes on that fee schedule. And that way they're clear. I'm just saying, because there's no conflict of interest policy, there's no ethics policy.
those are totally separate issues, and I agree with you, and you should bring those concerns, but that's separate from this. But I hear you, and you're right, yeah.
Well, I mean, it's not so separate. My point is that the reason it's not separate is I'm giving the power to selectmen
Correct.
to change fees.
Yes.
That's what this is allowing you to do.
Yes, and like
Change
you
the fees,
said,
so the minute after this vote goes in November, the next day, they can then change all the fees that they want, and nobody necessarily knows at that time that they've been changed.
Correct.
And I don't know if there's conflicts there, I don't know if there's ethics issues there, I have no, because there's no policy in the town for that.
Right. I don't know if you were here when I mentioned that last line that states it must not exceed the town's reasonable cost of administering and enforcing this ordinance, which is when I spoke to the municipal association. I'm not sure that you were in the room when I mentioned this, but I spoke with the municipal association and they told me that that is a way to make sure that it doesn't go, you know, way high one year and way low one year, that's a way to make this align with what the ordinance cost actually is.
Well, it
So that was the
it can
suggestion.
go low, it just can't go, that's what the cap on it in a way, but it doesn't put a floor on it.
Okay, I agree with you, but I tried to preempt and think of that, and I did speak with Maine Municipal Association, and that was the answer that they gave me, so.
Ben?
Other questions? Deborah?
Yeah, my question regarding this is, you all know I sit in those selectmen's meetings all the time, thanks. I sit in those selectmen's meetings all the time, and I don't know how many of you take the time to watch the video.
Sure.
But if the fee is going to be designed to match whatever the budget is, and we have two selectmen that will walk in and give our road commissioner or our transfer station manager a raise just out of their back pocket, then the selectmen, meaning the two that would do that, would also have to raise the fee commensurate with the salary boost or with the budget boost. And that's my only problem with this, is that we have one selectman that will fight that, but we have two, and two is a majority rule, and I'm sorry, I don't trust it. And without some other kind of backup, like an approval by the budget committee who looks at the budget and makes a recommendation, that would be my only way to be comfortable with it. Thanks.
Thank you. Any other questions?
I like to idea of schedule on that, I think that's great. Is that how it
Yeah.
All right, referendum number 3, shall the town of Lebanon vote to amend the zoning code ordinance section 5, which currently specifies a fee to read this applicable fee, this application will be accompanied by a fee as outlined in the schedule of license, permit, and application fees established annually by the Board of Selectmen, which shall not exceed the town's reasonable cost of administering and enforcing this ordinance. Again, basically the same question, same conversation that we just had, just a different ordinance. Any questions on this one? Seeing none, I'll move on to referendum number 4. Same question basically, but shall the town of Lebanon vote to amend the massage and sexual contact ordinance section 7 and 8, which currently specifies fees, to read, this application will be accompanied by a fee as outlined in the schedule of license, permit, and application fees established annually by the Board of Selectmen, which shall not exceed the town's reasonable cost of administering and enforcing this ordinance. Any questions on number 4? No, this is a little bit redundant, but number 5. Shall the town of Lebanon vote to amend the dog ordinance sections A and B, which currently specifies fines, to read owners of dogs that have been caught running and roaming at large will be subject to a fine, as outlined in the schedule of license, permit, and application fees established annually by the Board of Selectmen, which shall not exceed the town's reasonable cost of administering and enforcing this ordinance. Selectmen recommend yes 2, 1 no. Any questions on 5?
How do you determine reasonable cost and what is considered reasonable cost?
I'm not changing the fees, so.
So I think that's just walk in, right? You just gotta come in.
Yeah, I just want to know what reasonable cost, how do you determine what's reasonable cost?
Yeah. I'm trying not to answer any questions you guys have. Anything? Again, I just gotta explain, this would be new. I think the first time around, we're gonna have to do some digging and some research, and the town's never done this. Looking at other towns around us, which a lot of towns are doing a fee schedule. To me, that's one factor. You don't wanna be way different than the next town over, because nobody's gonna build water from your town. Or something like that.
So you're going to do eliminated, changed, or?
All of these
Most
that are in
them
there
going to be,
are fees that are already in the ordinance.
Yes.
okay. And they were voted in by the town.
Because every ordinance has to go before the town, so if it's in the ordinance, the town voted on it.
And we can't change it unless it goes back.
Right, without going back to the public.
And all of the fees, are they all going back into the general fund?
Yeah, I mean, the general fund is basically your, think of it as a checkbook, if you will. I mean, that's where, if you do your budget at home, people budget your phone, your electricity, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, these are, think of those as your departments, and, but when you go get your paycheck, you put it, most times, put it back in your checking accounts, you pay off all these different bills. That's how, I mean, a lot of people get confused with that general fund, so, it's just basically that's your working fund that has money in the town. Oh, sorry. Yeah.
I actually have the same question for Committee asked as far as reasonable cost of administering and enforcing. So this was, for example, a dog. You have an animal control or you have an animal control officer. So does that mean that the fee, the $50 fee, can't exceed her budget? So therefore, it could go up, that $50 could go up to $5,000 or $10,000? Or
Is that reasonable?
it says reasonable cost of administering and enforcing, not the reasonable, it didn't say reasonable fee, reasonable cost of administering and enforcing the ordinance. The cost of administering and enforcing the ordinance is her salary, is what we pay her. So does that mean the fee can go up that high? That's what the next one we have waste disposal, does that mean, which is hundreds of thousands of dollars? Does that mean that, so I don't understand what that reasonable cost of administering and enforcing an ordinance. I don't know what that means, and I don't think you've given a decent answer because we don't, even a budget isn't the cost of administering and enforcing an ordinance. I mean, animal control kind of is, but waste disposal, they're not administering and enforcing the ordinance, are they up there at the transfer station? I don't know if they are.
Best disposal.
No, they, no, that's a waste disposal facility.
That's the next one.
No, that's not a transfer station. That's like when Biddeford had a mark. I'm sorry.
Continue your answer, or you're done.
Well, no, I was gonna say, it's not, no, certainly your whole budget for one person, one fee, that's not reasonable. So, you kind of have to take it at face value. I mean, if you want to take apart every word, you could do that in every ordinance you have in our town. But that was inserted to make sure that your fee didn't exceed your own cost as what you have to do. So your own dog running down the street, that fee should not exceed your one dog running down the street. Same thing with your building permit, the same thing with every of these ordinances. It's on a single per fee basis.
I guess what I'm saying is that wording needs to really widen to what the fees is, because because it's open to interpretation what reasonable is.
Everything is open to interpretation.
No, a $50 fine is a $50 fine, there's no argument there, it is what it is.
Yep, and I don't disagree with you, but if you look at every single ordinance in our book, you would find something just like the zoning that disagree. I mean, that's what this is for, to try and fix it, so. If that's how you feel, I agree with you, you're right, it does leave it open, but the intention was to close it out.
Yeah.
All right, Deborah's got a question.
I have to say that I agree with Chip to a certain degree, although I think that to say that any selectman would, sitting on a board, would last more than a couple of weeks if they imposed a $5,000 fine on you for picking up your dog. I think that the general idea is to sit down with somebody's budget and figure out, for example, if they pick up a dog and they take it over to AWS and it costs the town $75 for your dog to go to AWS, a reasonable fee would then be the cost of an hour's worth of time for our dog officer to pick up the dog and drive it to AWS, and then the $75 fee that AWS charges the town. So currently, if you're not paying that fee every time your dog gets picked up and she has to take it over to AWS, you're basically cheating the town because the town's paying for your dog to get picked up and transported and kept in the kennel. And I think that's the basic idea of being within the constraints, because if AWS goes up on their fee tomorrow, up to $100 instead of $75, the reasonable expectation is that the fee for your dog being picked up would also go up to $100. And that's my own understanding of it.
Any other questions? Moving on to referendum 6. Shall the town of Lebanon vote to amend the waste disposal facility ordinance, sections 4.3 and 4.4, which currently specify fees to read. This application will be accompanied by a fee as outlined in the schedule of license permit and application fees established annually by the Board of Selectmen, which shall not exceed the town's reasonable cost of administering and enforcing this ordinance. Selectmen recommend yes 1, no 2.
I just wondered, what's 4.3 and 4.4 all about?
Flip to gallons, waste disposal facility.
All right. So that's what the,
There we go.
there's a fee.
There's a fee, yeah.
For what?
I don't have every one of these ordinances memorized.
This one, I didn't even know. This waste disposal, this is, kind of old, and I asked the selectmen when I was putting it, because my intention was just to pull all the fees out of all the ordinances that would not be by it. And this one came up, and I was like, why do we even have this ordinance? Now, from what I hear, there was a waste disposal facility that was intending to go up, is that correct?
Yep.
There was.
Yep.
So that's what this was for originally, so this one currently doesn't affect anything that we have in town, but it was an ordinance and I didn't want to be biased, so I pulled all the fees from all of them and here's what you have.
Is that equalizer?
So basically what you're saying is you've gone through the ordinance, what you're calling all the
Correct.
ordinances, and you're trying to update them.
Correct. Yeah, a lot of these, if you look at the amendment date, 88, some of them are 70, they're very, very old. And, your taxes have been increasing steadily for the past 15 years. I looked at that. This is not all because of these fees, obviously, I wouldn't venture to say that, but it is a part of that, because you haven't revisited these in a long time. Now, however you feel comfortable revisiting these, that's why we have these public hearings. If they all fail, I'm not gonna cry, but we do need to talk about this so that we can start having some organization and we can start keeping their taxes at a reasonable level. All the way around, and this is part of that. So that's my intention.
And this is one of these old ordinances that
Very
has
old.
been overlooked, and
So long.
just left sitting on the shelf for years.
And
nothing
because
done.
it doesn't apply to everything, in all fairness, but yeah.
So can I ask a stupid question? Why are we voting on to amend the fee to an ordinance that is no longer applicable and we ought to be getting rid of it? The article should read, shall we get rid of this ordinance because it no longer applies? I mean, why are we not,
That's a good question.
why are we keeping an ordinance on there for a facility that
The
doesn't
reason
fit?
why I'm keeping this ordinance is because if somebody else wants to move into town, you have something here.
But how old is it?
It's last amendment in 88 for everything.
So I mean, it probably, what I'm saying is,
It does have some restrictions. You'd be better to have it than not to if somebody wanted to move into town. And I was unbiased when I pulled the fees from everything.
I was kind of going to say what Chip did, I think we should just.
Still protection on the bottom.
It is a protection.
So
To
last-
whatever degree that is, it's better than nothing.
question kind of like on a lot of these, why, and this is true with the selectmen. So I see some 2-1, some 1-2, some 5-0, some, so why, if we're gonna have a fee schedule or not have a fee schedule, why do we have well, we want the selectmen to change some fees, but not change other fees. Why is there all this discrepancy with the selectmen voting yes for this one or no for that one? And you guys, or everybody that, I mean, I don't know whether, did any of you vote in favor of all of them?
Well, you're asking me why the votes were what you voted.
Oh, I voted, which is two, I voted again, but since then, I changed my mind
Ben.
on the fees, for the same reason that you're talking about. There's no fee. We want an ordinance for something, we should have the whole thing plus the fee. We're gonna vote no on all but 10 and 14.
In Roy's opinion, you voted no on all of them or almost all of them?
I didn't discriminate, I just voted no on the vote.
No, he didn't. He voted, yeah.
That's the festival.
Yeah, on the fees,
That's not for kids, I never did.
on the fees,
Yes, I know it's kids.
I'm just asking purely on the fees. Yeah, okay.
Okay, so we've gone through the ordinance book, and we pulled ordinances that we were revisiting. Why have we not pulled the drug ordinance? That has been in effect since 1988 or 89.
That's a very good question.
We are, as a town, and as selectmen, sitting in front of us, turning a blind eye.
That's right.
That's a great question. And Mike and I, this is a completely different, not even on this. There's no fee involved in the drug ordinance, which is what we were talking about here. To just really quickly, without rushing you off, Mike and I are working on something for May, hopefully, in that regard, but I kind of want to pull us back to here, because there is no fee in the ordinance that you speak of, and that's what we're talking about here, but the ordinance that you speak of, we are working on. It has to go before the people, though, and it's so large, we didn't venture to try and rush it on to this ballot, because we really wanted to do justice on it. So we didn't want to try and squeeze it onto another ballot and not have all the ducks in a row.
Then why is nothing being done right now?
I'm not really sure. I don't know.
Why is nothing being done about that ordinance right now? You know it's there, you know it exists, and you know what you have going on in town now. Why is nothing being done?
We got several, you know, so I guess my position is right now, just speaking only,
Is, you know, this is a complicated issue right now. It's not as quick cut as it was back in, what, 87, I think, when that ordinance was put in. You're working with state agencies. There's a lot for me to comprehend and understand right now, so we don't step on somebody else's rights as well, with medical marijuana and things like that. So it's not an easy cut and dry answer right now.
It is.
But that's all subject.
The ordinance in front of you that you have to go by. The ordinance has not been changed, updated, it has been left alone since 1988, 89, and you're letting it happen in town now, because you were doing nothing to stop.
But there's a difference, and I'm sorry, specifically which do you speak of? Are you speaking of the medical marijuana events that have happened, or
I
just,
don't see if it's medical marijuana events or growing of
which is also, and
that have
unfortunately,
multiple plants.
the reason why, we have to work with state agencies on this, and that it's not just cut and dry, because the ordinance that we have specifies, recreational use, and we don't really touch on what the state has now defined as medical, purposes. People have licenses and permits from the state level for this, and so that's why we're working with, in conjunction with the state, we're looking at other towns that have put ordinances like this in effect, and what's working, how, because it's a very gray line, and we don't want to cross it and find ourselves in trouble at the state level. So, I hear you, and I want to address those concerns, but we have to do it in a way that is going to align with the state.
So consequently, we'll let people grow it as a business.
The state has that.
And you have to be licensed by the state.
You certify.
You have to be certified
That's
Mandy, I
still-
can answer that.
Still growing?
Yeah.
You're allowed X amount of plants in X amount of stages per patient, as he stated, so.
Right.
And that can get pretty big, so if he's using a lot of space, as long as he's following those, state guidelines,
There are no local ordinances.
And there's on medical.
Medical marijuana.
only recreational, which this is.
The intent was to not, it's the whole intent of the whole thing.
And I agree with you, and we are working really hard on it, I can tell you that,
But the other side, real quick, easy answer, is that if they violate somebody's rights, they're gonna end up in court.
And
And
that's-
we end up losing, it's gonna cost us a lot of money, so we wanna, it's not, unfortunately, the bureaucracy, I guess you wanna say, it doesn't always move as fast as we want it to. But, we are looking at it, they're looking at it, and we brought up a few conversations with us. Yeah.
And it's only getting worse.
All right, so we're off subject though, and if your question is on referendum 6, I'll let you ask it. If it's on this, then no.
Can I just give her a really quick answer?
After the meeting.
All right, okay, I'll tell you about it afterwards, and if anybody else wants to hear about it, I'll tell you about it. I've been doing a lot of research into it.
Okay, so
So-
any more comments or questions on referendum 6?
Okay, Referendum 7. Shall the town of Lebanon vote to amend the mass gathering ordinance, section 2, by adding subsection 17, fee required to read, the fee for a mass gathering permit shall be as specified in the schedule of license permit and application fees established annually by the Board of Selectmen, which shall not exceed the town's reasonable cost of administering and enforcing this ordinance. Selectmen, yes. One yes, two no. Any questions or comments? Currently on this ordinance actually does not even allow for, it doesn't establish a fee of any kind. So, and there has been fees been charged in the past, we shouldn't have been charged, we wouldn't have any authority to charge those. So we do need to look at this going forward. Because there's definitely yet again another ordinance that needs to be updated.
Why have we have the two no's?
My ordinance. Why do we have 2 no's?
On what?
Referendum 7.
Well, mass gathering, I read the things, only things that, like water, bodies, and all that stuff. That's why I don't know that.
The ordinance is in effect already though, this is just based on the fee.
Most.
We voted it down twice, though? We voted on mass gathering twice.
Mass gathering ordinance is in place since 1983. We voted recently to try to
The
update
last
that.
2 years.
Yeah, to try to update that because it's very, very,
So what's
as you
the
say,
difference between what you're adding now and what we voted no on for the last 2 years?
this would be establishing a fee.
But they're already paying that fee.
Right. In the past, we don't have any authority to enforce that fee or ask for that fee. That's just recently been discovered. It's been going through codes before.
I have a question for you. We've been putting up the skydive for about 10 years now. And that was never supposed to be a commercial airport, it was supposed to be a private airport. When it was put in, and the town has just come run around. They're down there, you can't even stand it down there at night when they're having their parties. I mean, 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, it's just unbelievable. And nobody does anything about it. And I don't understand how the town is allowed to get away with that.
I can't answer either, I guess, I mean, gradually, it's before my time, if you say 10 years, I mean, I don't know.
It's been more than, as I said, when it was first put in, it was a private airport. It was only supposed to be a private airport, now it's a commercial business. And what does the town get out of it? Nothing. Some a bunch of noise, a bunch of drug addicts up there on the weekend, a bunch of drunks.
The only thing I can say,
One thing I can say myself is I know there's been some complaints as far as assessments and things like that, because people have been complaining that it's affecting their values of their homes.
It is.
They don't disagree.
It's like this drug place, this marijuana place, I put in next to my house. What's it gonna do to my taxes? Gonna lower my taxes? No. It's gonna stay the same. And as far as I'm concerned, it should affect whatever's gonna happen. because it's gonna drop my property taxes.
There's a lot of things in town that, I mean, there's some resistance to doing anything, change moving forward and things like that, but we need to, you know.
I don't want to change in a good way, but something like that is not a good
Well,
way.
what I'm kind of referring to is the assessments. You know, it's been neglected for many, many, many years. You know, so that's one of the things we're trying to update, trying to change in a positive direction. At least be able to stand behind the decisions that we're making instead of just going in the dark and come up with a number somewhere. You know, which is seems to be happening in the past. So I mean, you know, I know that's one thing that, for example, you know, like looking at this circle on the floor, you know, that's my mindset. Who's being affected by the low-flying planes? I've had a few complaints that way, how it's affecting the value. I would like to personally look into other towns that have airports like that. You know, how they do the assessments. I don't disagree something should be done, you know, to help.
Sometimes that plane is out there, and they got it packed full of people, that they're just clearing the tree off, they come out.
The other side of it
It's not
is,
over the house, and it ain't just my house, it's a lot of people.
the other side of it, if we lose the assessments, you know, that tends your mill rate to go up. But at the same time, to run the business out of there, now I get that for income approach. Let's find out, you know, because that's where it should be assessed. It's a business, you know, we shouldn't be just assessing it based on raw land.
Right.
You know, either. I need to compensate for that
That
loss.
was actually my question, is that it's now no longer private, it's commercial enterprise. Same thing with the blood facility, not marijuana, that's a commercial
Absolutely.
enterprise. That ought to be assessed. as a commercial
That's how I look at it.
enterprise, not as a private. You can't have it both ways, if you're gonna go commercial.
Yep, I agree.
You know,
I agree.
And how do they assess, the airports and all the campers on the frontier? Is that?
Currently, you know, skydiving, you're talking? I don't know, something that just recently back in my mind, the flights come up, like, I want to look into. Yeah, people aren't living in them, are they living in them? Are they, I don't know, I've never been in there.
I think the town has a right to assess those campers, because they're not being moved
Oh,
on.
absolutely, any camper that's sitting out there, yeah, absolutely, if they're not, have a plate on them, and they're not gonna have excise tax, they should be assessed.
Like skydiving, are they still using the fire department, rescue and stuff, like they have in the past?
We're trying to break away from that, there's a lot of expectations from entities and people in the town that have been going on. We shouldn't be doing that. Very unpopular. I don't know what the public's perception was, but on the Boy Scouts, you know, that came up just recently. I pursued that with the attorneys. Absolutely 100% cannot use public anything, employee, fire trucks, for a private purpose. Doesn't matter if it's Boy Scouts, doesn't matter if it's a soccer, you know, unless the town votes and puts an exception in there, we can do that. If the town says, hey, you know, we want to do the ball games, we want to do, you know, Boy Scout or non-profit events, then that needs to go on the ballot, and then we have the authority. We do not have the authority to allow that to happen.
But we are.
It hasn't passed, it hasn't passed, and I guess,
Law.
I'm sorry.
I think it's having law.
Yeah, it has passed, and I didn't know that they were going up there to skydive. I don't know if you guys knew that or not, but I know that happened this past year, and it shouldn't have happened. You know, fire trucks should not have been there. A lot of times what's happening is that people are coming in at what, you know, 7 days or 4 days ahead of time and saying, hey, I need this, or I want this, and
Not enough time.
not enough time to research, and well, we've always done it, and that type of thing, so all right, we're gonna do it this time, but that's it. You know, so yeah, some of the things recently have been done.
Because they're running a business, we're running a business, we're just talking about number two here, we're paying the, you know, we're changing the fees to pay the code enforcement. Yeah, we're sending the fire department to sit over there
It's
and
not gonna happen anymore.
well, it hasn't passed, so the same with the proving ground and everything else. They're a business, they should be paying us to have the fire department here, the rescue there, or whatever else.
No, they should have private entities doing it, because you don't want your tax dollars paying for,
We're not-
having an ambulance tied up in a festival when it's needed in the field.
Yeah, and our equipment's not for rent, I mean, unless your town wants to rent it out, you know, then they have to vote on it, and I'm being a little bit facetious here. You know, I'm gonna say no, you know, that's my vote, you know,
So we know how your vote works then.
no, you don't, I'm talking about my individual vote, that's separate from select, you know, Paul, we've had this conversation, but you might have a personal opinion, you know, if you're representing people sitting here at a selectman vote, you know, and my personal opinion is when I close I guess, from Boy Scouts. And, you know, yeah, I'd love to do that, I'd love to be able to. To be honest with you, the way I got around that this last time, this is for Fire Prevention Month. I looked at the chief and I said to him, I says, can you go over there, we talked to the Boy Scouts and do a fire prevention activity with the children over there? Fine, they're burning your brush pile at the same time, if they happen to get out of control, you know, then you're there already, but you're doing something interactive with the kids, which we're doing every place else. You know, again, that raises the question too, should they be doing that? You know, it's community service, but that, seriously, that was part of the conversation we had. I know you're rolling your eyes, Betty, but I mean, that was hard, you know? It gets very complicated, and it really comes down to what the town wants to do, and I think we need to have a question on the ballot and fix this problem.
I just don't understand how two selectmen vote against it though, where, how many times does the rescue go to the skydive a year? You know what I'm saying? Then they're still using town services, whether you want to use it or not. It's still, the rescue's still going there. Only once a month, if not more. You know what I'm saying? That's still a business, but the town is still supplying a service to skydive.
Well, I don't know anything about that, I'll look into that.
I mean, look, check the rescue, how many calls they have a year down.
I know they use the runway, you know, but I don't know anything about them setting up down there for any activity.
No, I'm saying if somebody breaks the leg skydiving.
Oh, sure.
So rescue's going there.
Sure.
Well, it's part of their taxes.
Yeah.
But can I just ask a
I
question?
mean, if you get transported or whatever, they're transported, so that's regular stuff to me, but.
I just want to ask one question, and believe me, I have my own problems with skydive, but I do have a question to ask. Do they bill the town when 8 or 9 or 10 times in 1 month skydive allows DART or Life Flight to land on their airport and transport critically ill patients or horribly maimed accident victims? Do they bill the town for allowing MedFlight to land? So I'm with you guys on the noise. I'm right with you guys on the noise, because I don't think that there's any call for anybody to be doing that hoopla after like 10 or 11 o'clock. But when you start talking about charging them money for our ambulance to go after a broken leg, better be careful, because they're the biggest place around for Life Flight to land.
Okay, any other questions on the mass gathering? Seeing none, let's move on to referendum number 8. Shall the town of Lebanon vote to amend the special amusement ordinance, section 3, which currently specifies a fee to read? The fee for the special amusement permit is outlined in the schedule of license permit, and application fees established annually by the board of selectmen shall not exceed the town's reasonable cost of administering and enforcing this ordinance. So again, same thing. 2 yeses, 1 no. I'm sorry.
Well, I'm just reading what's here, it's official.
Yeah, I didn't quite understand that. Could you clarify that? Did you recall after this was printed, you changed your vote? So we have one.
Because of the cost.
Okay, so we have one selectman that just voted against everything, and now we have one selectman that voted for stuff, but then changed his mind after this was printed. What is up with that?
No, since that, the old ordinance book, and I looked, and most of the ordinance in that book have the fee in them.
But correct, you changed your vote after this was printed.
I said tonight that I'm gonna vote against all but 10 and 14 because of the fee part. We should know what we're getting.
So you changed your vote after this was printed.
I changed my vote, yes, I don't have to,
So what are we supposed to go by as citizens? You're supposed to be representing us.
This hearing here is to see how people feel about it.
Well, I'll tell you what I feel. I feel I'm not represented by my selectmen.
I agree. I'm not representing because you're not giving us good answers.
You have one that voted against everything, and you have one that changed whatever you felt like after it was printed.
We voted for it.
I didn't.
No, I didn't.
Gary's got a question.
Commenting on the votes, I may have misunderstood. At the meeting I had with the folks about the planning board, at the meeting I item on the ballot, not necessarily your final endorsement. Was I wrong about that?
We do a final ballot at a later meeting. So we put it on the ballot and then I sat with them and they all vote.
Yeah, these are recommendations, to pass or not to pass. You know, because what you're talking about the first meeting, yeah, that's to see what's going on about, selecting out the authority, what's going on, what's not. But these are to recommend, which by law they have to be on there, which I personally will write and say I hate, because I think it scares the voter. But
Of course it does, especially when you have one that voted all against it and one that changed how to vote.
I don't like the system at all.
What kind of steering is that?
Yeah. All right, so anything else on recommendation? But beyond 8, hold on, please.
This, special amusement thing, once again, remember to sky that up. They have to confirm it every time they have a vision, or anything like that, is up there? Yeah.
Mike, have you had that at all?
No.
Do they have alcohol?
I probably need to look into that. That's,
If they have,
No.
serving alcohol and
Yeah,
dancing or
alcohol.
entertainment, then it
Sure,
should
no,
be.
But your alcohol is for donation.
That might be very reasonable.
yeah, but you still, yeah, I don't know. We have to read
Your
that.
alcohol is a donated
Donation.
per donation. You're gonna have a Jello shot, your donation is gonna be $3.50.
So you take a Jello shot and you go jump out of a plane? Is that your name?
I just wanted to know what special amusement qualifies as.
Everything you think is it just covers basically the bands and dancing and things like that.
In conjunction with your liquor license. If you hold a liquor license and you have entertainment, jukebox, live band, entertainment of some sort, and a liquor license together, you need a special amusement license.
That's not a permit per event, that's just a license for the year, correct?
Correct. That's a permit for the year in conjunction with your liquor license that you get from the state.
Which is what trains does. Trains does.
Correct.
I mean, a lot of people think of it, oh, it's allowing stripping and stuff like this. Well, that's not anything to do with that. I've heard that, so that's fine. You have something, Mike?
I just wanted to know that you had mentioned you wanted me to look into it, and I'll report back to the board.
So,
Scott, outside.
special amusements, with this ordinance, they only have to apply for one permit for the whole year.
Correct. And that's something that the state requires the town to issue a special amusement permit to anyone who holds a liquor license in conjunction with dancing or entertainment of some sort.
What if they don't hold the liquor license?
Then they don't need to get a special amusement permit from the town. If they're going to have an event, it could be mass gathering or later the Lebanon events permit, which is per event, which would be different. But as far as special amusement, that's just something that's in conjunction with your liquor license.
So they're not required that.
If they don't have